Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome, everyone. Today, we're breaking down a really comprehensive transformation blueprint. We're pulling this directly from our source guide to show you exactly how to build what's known in the fitness world as an aesthetic body. And look, we're not just going to sit here and talk about vague, pie-in-the-sky fitness goals. We are going to look at the exact mechanics, the specific workouts, the precise diet ratios, and even the mindset required to completely transform your physique. So, let's get right to it.
To really understand what an aesthetic body is, we first kind of need to understand what it isn't. On one extreme, you have an ultra-slim, incredibly skinny physique. Think of a lean marathon runner's build. Then, all the way on the other side, you have an excessively bulky, massively muscular physique, the kind you'd see on an enormous, stage-ready bodybuilder. Our source points out that while both of these definitely take serious dedication, neither of those extremes represents the true aesthetic ideal we're striving for today. We aren't aiming to just be extremely skinny, and there's absolutely no need to be impossibly massive either.
Instead, we are aiming for that perfect middle ground. The source defines a balanced aesthetic physique, which is often compared to the perfect proportions of fitness models like David Lade, as a body that is perfectly in harmony. We're talking defined forearms, visible veins, a sharp V-taper shape to your torso, visible abs, and just enough muscle that you look sharp and strong even if you're just throwing on a plain everyday t-shirt. And honestly, perhaps the best part, the source notes that this type of physique is not only totally achievable, but it's relatively easy to maintain once you've actually built it.
So, here is the roadmap for today's explainer. We've structured this manual into 5 clear phases. Phase 1 is the overlooked detail, Phase 2 is the frame, Phase 3 is the system, Phase 4 covers the fuel, and we'll wrap it all up with Phase 5, the reality check. Let's start things off with Phase 1, the overlooked detail. I've got a quick question for you right off the bat. When you look at someone, what makes a man instantly look more masculine? Now, you might immediately think, oh, a beard, obviously. And yeah, that's definitely the most common answer when you're trying to separate a soft boy look from a strong man look. But what if you take the beard out of the equation? What is the other defining physical trait that immediately, subconsciously signals power and masculinity?
The answer, according to our source, is actually a thick, prominent, and defined neck. It's a highly critical, yet constantly ignored factor when it comes to your overall physical presence. Seriously, if you look at 2 individuals without facial hair, the one with a thicker, stronger neck is almost always going to be categorized subconsciously as more masculine and powerful. Just changing the size of your neck can completely alter your entire look. So, how do we actually build it? Well, the source lays out a strict rule of 3 for neck workouts, targeting 3 sets of each exercise, done 2 to 3 times a week. Number 1 is the neck extension. This is where you lie face down with your head hanging off a bench and carefully curl your neck upward. Number 2 is neck flexion, lying on your back and bringing your chin down toward your chest. And number 3 is trap shrugs, holding weights and shrugging your shoulders straight up to build those crucial trapezius muscles that really make the neck look broad. But hey, listen very closely to this next part. The source provides a strict safety warning here. Because the neck is super prone to injury, you must always do rotational warm-ups first. Slowly rotate the neck clockwise and counterclockwise, and stretch side to side. You have to ensure those muscles are completely warmed up and flexible before you apply any resistance whatsoever. Moving right along to Phase 2, the frame.
Okay, so to build the actual structure of your upper body, you absolutely need a V-taper, and the very foundation of that V-taper, incredibly wide shoulders. But to get that wide look, you have to make sure you're hitting all 3 parts of the shoulder muscle. The source breaks down 3 specific exercises to do exactly that. First up, pike push-ups target the front delts. This is basically a push-up where your hips are lifted high up in the air, kind of like a downward dog position. Second, lateral raises target the side delts, which are what really give you that crazy width. You do these by raising weights straight out to your sides up to shoulder level. Third, the rear delt fly targets the back of the shoulder. You bend forward and raise the weights outward, really focusing on that mind-muscle connection. Hitting the front, side, and rear delts is basically the secret code to building that coveted, broad-shouldered frame that makes a t-shirt look amazing.
Next up is Phase 3, the system. To build this aesthetic body, you need a structured full-body routine. You can't just wing it. Our source strongly recommends the highly effective push-pull legs, or PPL, split. Here's how it breaks down. On Mondays and Thursdays, you have push days, focusing entirely on your chest, shoulders, and triceps. On Tuesdays and Fridays, it's pull days, where you're working the back and biceps. Wednesdays and Saturdays are leg days, hitting the core and leg muscles. And Sunday?
Sunday is entirely dedicated to rest and recovery. This system is brilliant because it efficiently targets every single major muscle group twice a week, which is pretty much optimal for growth.
But here is the absolute kicker. That incredibly well-structured PPL split. It will absolutely not work if you skip this one fundamental concept, progressive overload. You literally cannot just go into the gym and lift the exact same weight for the exact same number of reps month after month. Progressive overload is the practice of consistently increasing the weight you lift, the number of reps you perform, or the total sets you do every single week. You have to constantly force your muscles to adapt to a heavier load. Without this continuous challenge, your strength and muscle gains will just flatline.
That brings us to phase 4, the fuel.
Okay, so we've built the frame and we have our workout system in place. But honestly, all of that training is completely useless without the proper fuel. The source makes a really bold claim here. An overwhelming 70 to 80% of your muscle building and fat loss success comes entirely from your diet and nutrition. Only 20 to 30% comes from the actual workout and rest. The source highlights that you could grind away in the gym for years, but if your diet isn't perfectly aligned with your goals, all that physical effort is essentially wasted. Diet is the absolute foundation of everything we're talking about today.
So, what does that diet actually look like? Let's talk about the math of muscle building for a second. The key numbers you really need to memorize are 1.6 to 2.2. To actively grow muscle, the source states you absolutely must consume 1.6 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of your body weight every single day. So, just to put that into perspective, if you weigh 55 kilograms, you need to be taking in roughly 90 grams of protein daily. If you can't get this purely from your regular meals, the source suggests utilizing a good whey protein supplement to make sure you hit those vital numbers.
But hey, it isn't just about protein. The rest of your nutritional plate has to be dialed in too. You need complex carbohydrates like oats and brown rice to provide sustained fuel and energy for those intense workouts. You must include healthy fats. Think nuts, olive oil, and avocado. And you definitely cannot ignore fiber. Green vegetables and daily salads are essential for maintaining your gut health. Just as importantly, the source is crystal clear on what you need to avoid. You've got to cut out refined carbs, excessive sugar, and maida, which is refined wheat flour, because eating that stuff will severely slow down your aesthetic progress.
Now, as part of the nutritional and recovery strategy, the source also recommends a specific supplement called Physique Shilajit Gold. Reporting directly from our guide here, this product is highlighted as a complete health solution rather than just a simple muscle builder. This source notes it contains 100% pure Himalayan shilajit blended with Swarna basma and 6 Ayurvedic herbs, including ashwagandha and safed muesli. It's government lab tested and stated to contain over 75 types of fulvic acid to help boost energy and reduce fatigue. According to the source, its listed benefits for men include boosting testosterone levels, improving stamina and muscle mass, and even supporting heart health.
Finally, we hit phase 5, the reality check.
We have the exercises, the split, and the nutrition. Now we really need to address the psychology of all this. Because the truth about building an aesthetic body is that it is absolutely not a quick fix. As the source states, this is a long-term process. That day will come when you don't feel like working out, but your strong mindset and discipline will push you. The source makes it exceptionally clear that an aesthetic body will not be built in just 3 to 6 months. It's a marathon. Motivation is naturally going to fade. There will absolutely be days where you want to skip the gym, stay on the couch, and eat junk food. It is your strict discipline, not just a passing feeling of motivation, that will keep you on track.
Which leaves us with one final, pretty vital question. What is the very first step you will take today to start building your aesthetic blueprint? Is it sitting down and calculating your protein needs? Is it starting that push-pull leg split tomorrow? Or is it simply committing to a disciplined mindset right here, right now? The knowledge is now in your hands. Thank you so much for tuning into this explainer today. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and enjoy the incredible journey of building your ultimate aesthetic physique.